everybody, I'm Tom Vessel.
And I'm Chris Yee.
Today we're taking a look at a new CGE game called Wispwood. CGE is kind of, everyone's talking about the Lost Ruins of Arnak and SETI. So their other games sometimes get lost in the...
A little bit, yeah.
This is definitely one that did, mostly because Wispwood, and you look at it and you're like, I don't know what it's about.
There's woods, and you better believe they're wispy.
Oh, hang on. Magical lights have lured your cat into the forest. Lucky you. The wisps from the old tales. Now your cat's in the forest. Whatever, you're making a grid and making shapes. All right, let's take a look at it, and we'll be right back. In the game, players can be building a grid of tiles in front of them. You'll start with your cat on a tree, and on a turn, you can either take a wisp tile or a tree turn. When you take a wisp tile, you're going to take one of these tiles that are randomly placed out on this board. When you take the tile, that tile is going to be part of a shape of the two that are next to it. So if I took this tile, I might decide to put this here. You always have to put it next to a tile in your grid. And then I'll take tree tiles and form the rest of the shape. Now, my grid for round one is only going to be a 4x4. So I have to be able to fit the shape in. So let's say on a future turn, I took this one and decided to do that shape. I could do this. And now my grid that way is set. Now the other option you can do is you can take a tree turn where you will just take 3 tree tiles and put them wherever you want, trying to fill your grid in. When you take a tree turn, if your cat is face down, you can unflip your cat. Well, why would you want to unflip your cat? Well, when you're taking a tile, guess what? These don't refill. The only time they refill is if there's just one type left. Then the person who's picking a tile can clear those and randomly put new tiles out on all the different spots. So you can flip your cat to do that before there's just one type left. You can also flip your cat to say, I'm going to take this tile, but I want to do this shape here. At the beginning of the game, you're going to choose or randomly pick one scoring card for each of the different types of wisps. When one person finishes their 4x4 grid, then you're going to score. Each person is going to score based on this one. So this one here is Pumpkin Seed Doku, which will count pumpkins that are not in a row or column with other pumpkins. So I only have one. He's not in a row or column with any other pumpkins, so that gives me 4 points. And you'll score for each of these in various ways. When you're done with that, you may move your cat to another tree tile. Then all your tree tiles are going to go away. The wisps are going to stay there. And now you're going to play again, continuing from the last person to go. But now you can build next to any of these, and you're building a 5x5 grid. Then after you score that, you'll build a 6x6 grid. And after that, whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. There's also bonus points if you finish your grid. Everyone has the same number of turns each round, so that will give you some bonus points. And whoever scores the most is the winner. Now, this is possibly the most overdone genre other than trick-taking in our hobby right now.
Pattern in a grid.
Build a pattern, score points. Mm-hmm. So you have to say, what does this one do that's different than the others? Well, first of all, it has a weird Tetris thing where you're taking a piece of a pattern, building the rest of the pattern, then putting it in your puzzle. So that's one difference.
Yeah, only one square of it is like the special piece. Yeah.
Yes. And then secondly, when you're done scoring, everything comes off and you rebuild again 5x5 and then come off and rebuild again 6x6. And that's I feel is different.
But you leave the key pieces in there.
Yes.
And so there's I haven't really seen a game do that gimmick. The closest I think I've seen is the Guild of Merchant Explorers. Right?
Oh, right. That one you pull stuff off and go back on. You're right.
Yeah, but even this is pretty different from that style of game.
And speaking of the Guild of Merchant Explorers or whatever it was called, this game looks pretty. Unlike that one. It's CGE. They make their stuff looks the same. I would have told you the company who made this, because they have a certain style to their games, has this thing. And I'll say that I think that the colors and shapes, very easy to differentiate what's what. You're not going to say, oh, is that the pink one or not? That doesn't matter. They're pretty easy. Scoring cards, they have 1s and 2s on them. They're like, don't use the 2s for your first because they're more complicated. There are some little bit of wonkiness to them, but for the most part, it's pretty basic.
It really is.
Oh, and they also...
Oh,
I got to talk about the... I didn't mention this in the overview because I think they have rulers here. In case you can't figure out what a 4x4 grid looks like, you can mark it off here, and then a 5x5 and a 6x6.
I guess. I think it's mostly because it's a solo mode thing on the back. But
Sure, but I was still amused by that.
it was kind of humorous, yeah. I don't want to keep just drawing comparisons, but I think one of the issues I have with the game is that it's quite comparable to a lot of other things. The scoring cards are Cascadia. They are
Cascadia.
Each different color scores in a different way, and there's like a few cards, some nice little variations for each of them. Very much Cascadia. Build a grid. So I've made the comparison to Guild of Merchant Explorers. But despite those things, it does kind of feel unique with that little like layout, the patterns and stuff. One square being special of a polyomino shape is also in Copenhagen Roll and Write, but to a less of a
Yes, that's correct. Please do not go buy Copenhagen Roll and Write. Not a good game. Go buy Copenhagen. It's better.
Yeah. But yes, I mean, that, not to say that there's nothing unique in here. I think that its package is overall unique. It has some nice unique features. I just don't find it interesting.
I get that, actually. But I do find it interesting. I think I just like the idea of fitting. I like the whole, I'm always a big fan of Tetris as is. But I like the idea of fitting this stuff into shape, and the game just doesn't go too long. Each round I feel more powerful than the previous. I'm like, I didn't score many points in round one. Oh, but all that stuff stays there. Watch what I do in round two.
Yeah.
It doesn't, if there's a negative thing I'll say about it is I don't think the decisions are particularly hard.
Correct.
I'm like, this is what fits here. Hey, look, there's a piece that fits in that spot. Done. I don't really... I have 5 pumpkins. Should I get 6? I should. Because in this game, there's no reward for diversity. You really want... Well, some of the one wisp scores for different ones. But if you really focus on one, you do okay.
And I think that they all score pretty strong, and I don't think any of them like kind of blows the other ones out of the water.
No, but I'm saying if you get a lot of orange, you might as well get some more.
Correct, yeah. And I think that's my other little issue with it, too, is that my decisions feel... pretty limited, and it's okay for a game to feel kind of limited, but as I was playing it, I just thought, okay, I know how to put shapes into other shapes, and I know how to, okay, well, where should the orange go? Where in this, like, the little polyomino shape should it go? Not in a way that cancels its scoring. Not in a way that cancels the scoring of a different one. You know what I mean? Like, it feels too familiar, unfortunately.
So what if, though, you were looking at it as someone who doesn't play many games?
Yeah, I think that it would feel clever. I think that it would, genuinely, right? And I think that if you didn't have other touch points, right? Cascadia, for example, or most other polyomino games, I think that you would look at this and say, hey, that's pretty fun. I think that a few complaints that are standard that I have would be, I think the scoring is not as interesting. You kind of alluded to that. Oh, I have a lot of green. I'll just get more green, right? Because green, at times green is good. And there's a lot of scoring. The final games in this, the final scores at the end of the game could be like in the 200s fairly easily. And the range of scoring, it kind of feels like it's manufactured to be a little bit close to each other.
Sure.
So I didn't find a lot of satisfaction out of doing the scoring at the end. Now, is it because I've played a lot of games that are similar and that bleeds into that? That might be. It genuinely might be, and I'm aware of that.
What would you give it?
Score-wise, I'd give this one a 5. I don't really want to come back to it because, for me, it also felt a little rinse and repeat. And so kind of by the end of it, I was ready for the third round to be done, the 6x6 round to be done, because I knew that we're going to have to go through, count trees and columns or diagonals. How are the greens? Do you have a lot of them next to each other? Got a lot of the oranges? Oh, everyone got 87 points this round. Let's kind of add those up. And I don't know, I hope I don't sound jaded, right? Because I think a lot of people will enjoy this. It has a good look to it. It's well produced. I love the cat tile that you flip over. Cascadia Acorn, it's like a cute little double tile put together. Production on it's good, and I think that it's competent, right? But I was really checked out by playing it. So yeah, a 5.
On the other hand, I kept wanting to play it more. I'm not loving this game, but I am really liking it. I like the idea of building a little grid, having it go away, but some of it remains and you build on top of that. And it feels like it just meets the time length for me. If there was one more round, I would despise it, I think. Because I'd be like, that's way too long. But if it was one shorter round, I don't know, I like the gobs of points. You keep comparing it to Cascadia, and I don't disagree, but I don't love Cascadia as much as everyone else does. I think it's fine. I like this better, actually. Part of that might be I like the luminescent art on the dark background. There's something about that I enjoy. But I give this one a 7. I think it's an enjoyable game. I think that if you haven't played many of these games, you should certainly check it out. If you are tired of the genre, I don't think this is enough to bring you back in of the build patterns.
Yes.
But if you do like the genre, maybe you're a big fan of Cascadia, this might be a sideways step for you. You might say, hey, this is something I enjoy also. So anyway, check it out. That's Wispwood. I'm Tom Basil.
And I'm Chris Yee.
And we want to say thank you to some of our GameFound backers. Thank you to Tom Glennon, to Martin Clairbaut, to the Bissett family, Kevin Rhodes, and Bob and Ann Arnold. Thank you guys for supporting us.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.